Hi, my name is Thiel. I'm going to show you how to fix a ghost reference, in particular the ghost reference problem with the DH underscore AT weapons package. I'm going to open a armored map, and without the DH AT weapons.u package present, so it should crash as it's missing those references. So there's a crash message, and so what it needs is it needs that package, and so you have to put that package in there to be able to open the level. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to show you the how it can actually have a ghost reference. And what I mean by ghost reference is I will basically be removing all the references in the level to the DH AT weapons package. So the level will not reference it through any means that I know of. But somehow there's a ghost reference. It's like unremovable. It's always going to reference it. So essentially the .rom file is corrupted, and this is not good. So throughout this video, I'll be showing you how to get rid of the ghost reference, essentially by copying the level to a new .rom file. So here I've finally got it to open, and I'm just gonna bring up the search thing and type in the FOSS. Make sure all the FOSS are deleted, and it's more complicated than you might think, because whoever set up these actors made it to where you could actually change. So even though a particular pickup looks like a Panzerfaust, it could actually be another weapon, and that goes for other things as well. So like it could look like a satchel, but actually be a Faust, a Panzerfaust. So here I'm just going to select all actors. I hit and then copy them, and it takes a while to copy because it's copying like a ton of text, like somewhere, I don't know, like 100,000 lines or more. And then I'm gonna, once it's done, I give it enough time to copy. I open it, and I paste that text into a text editor, and then I search for DH underscore AT weapon, and that will help me find out where the other references are. And here it looks like the rolls are referencing it, so the rolls are referencing the older anti-tank weapons. That's very bad. So you gotta get rid of those as well. So it's not just the Panzerfaust. And I'm gonna just do a few more searches to and get rid of the references. And here I think I miss one. I miss a satchel, a pickup that looks like a satchel, but it's actually a Panzerfaust. So when I try to show you that it still crashes, even though once you remove all the references, there's actually still a reference, which I didn't get rid of, and then I still I make sure there's no others, and then it still crashes. So this level definitely has a ghost reference. And so I'm just deleting the AT part because I think it's the same class names. Otherwise, it's just the package reference. So I just delete the AT part, and it should work. Now remember, the text editor is literally just the text. It doesn't It doesn't. I'm not going to use it for anything just yet. I'm basically prepping it. That's essentially what I'm doing right now. I'm prepping it so it won't have any references to a DH_AT weapons package. And I'm proving that, well, essentially proving that by trying to open the level without the package. But like once I remove all known references to it, it still will fail the load. So that's to show you the ghost reference problem. And I still don't know how it's referencing it when there is no reference. I think it has something to do with the DH-AT weapons package and how something was set up in there. And it's basically corrupts our map files. And I think because of that, it can actually cause like a form of memory leak, and it's very bad. And so this is why I've gotten rid of it. Plus the package was unneeded and it was just getting in the way. Let's see. So here I'm finally copying all the actors again. And I'm going to paste it into a text editor, giving it some time to make sure it copies. All right. And then I paste, and then that's Control V to paste, by the way. Then I found another reference, the one I missed somehow, my fault. It's actually a satchel pickup that is actually referencing something in the AT weapons package, which I think is a Panzerfaust. I didn't actually check to make sure, but see, it can look like a satchel, and it can be the satchel actor, placeable satchel actor, but actually reference a different weapon, and so it spawns as a Panzerfaust in the game. Counterintuitive to what it looks like in the editor. All right, so now I close that out. That I wanna make sure that there was no other references. Of course, this is where it still crashes. And after that, I have to put the AT weapons .u package back in there. Open it once more, and then this is where I'm going to show you how to get it to a new, fresh .rom file. It's quite easy from a perspective of once you know what you're doing. It's kind of a weird concept if you don't understand what you're doing. So the first thing you want to do is load it up with the package. Okay, so the package is there. Then you want to go to the static mesh package, and you want to open the my level thing. Now you're going to save the my level package. You just want to save it to your desktop or anywhere that doesn't have that's easy to access, that doesn't have a lot of spaces. Avoid spaces and directory names. And then also you want to select all actors, copy them. And I think I do one more check to make sure that the DH package reference doesn't exist. Let's see if I do that. Yes, see, I did you find all? Okay, didn't find any. Good, thumbs up. Okay, so now I got the actors in text, and I got the my level package. It's time to close the editor. And this time, I'm going to remove the DH_AT weapons.u package. I just throw it back on my desktop. I cut it and paste it on the desktop. And then I reload the editor. And this time, I'm not going to load the map, and I'm just going to have a blank map there. And I'm going to go to the static mesh browser. And I'm going to go to File to Open. And go to the desktop to where I saved that my level package. Right there. And then under Textures, I'm just going to show you that it also saves the textures. So all the terrain textures and everything that the level referenced in the my level. So we're basically good to go. Now we have to select the text that we pasted into our text editor, which you could have saved, but it didn't really matter. I'm not using it for very long. So I copied it. That was Control C. I set the grid to 32. Normally, if the level's set up right, that's the best to use, but this level it was not made by me or fixed by me, and so it's all off grid, everything's wrong, and it's quite annoying. Okay, so here's you want to bring up the properties once you have you paste in all the actors, so they're all selected still, and you want to check the lock location to false. And then that will allow you to move all the actors together. That's very, very important because I'm going to be moving all the actors here to try to get it back on the original exact locations of everything. Now, this isn't really needed on this level because it wasn't even centered to begin with, but I wanted to show you the process of doing this. So I'm going to change the grid reference to 16 here because it wasn't set. It wasn't really snapped to grid anyways. So I'm just moving it 32 to the west and to the north, and then I got to move it, I think 32 down. Pretty sure you got to move it down, yeah. Okay, so there's that. I have it. It's now back in the exact locations that it was in the other copy of the level. Here I'm going to check the terrain location, and it's not origin anyways, which is frustrating, but oh well. I think I probably would lock the location of the terrain actor if it was origin, that way it's not accidentally moved. But anyway, so now I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it with a tag fixed, and that will let me know like which version is what. I'm going to rebuild now. I saved before I rebuild. The rebuild will take a little bit of time, and the lighting on the deco layers will look strange. That's perfectly fine. The next time you load the editor, it will look fine. If you look at it in a game, it will look fine. It's just a temporary bug, and there is a way to fix it without restarting your editor, and that is by going into the terrain properties and moving the deco layer height to a different value and then back to what it was. So here I bring up the properties. I change it to 2 instead of 2.5, and then I change it back to 2.5 or whatever it was, and then that fixes the lighting on the deco grass and deco vegetation or whatever. And so I think everything's pretty much fine now visually. Now what we have to do is we have to bring up the broken version, and we have to have the DHAT weapons package present for that. So here I'm going to throw it back in there. Now remember, our other editor is not referencing that package at all, which is good. Thumbs up. So here I throw it back in there. So we can open the original level. And the only reason why we need to open the original level is to get a few more values that did not transfer with our process. And these are like the level summary and bloom settings. So here I fixed the bloom. I think the default bloom is all set to ugly values, and it's all 0, which is how it should be, by the way. So I just zero out all the bloom settings, and then under level summary, I have to change the author and the some other stuff. Oh, the preview screenshot and the title, and then also the recommended players. If that, I usually change that to more sane values, and some of this stuff may not be set, and you'll probably realize that you should probably fix it. And then the level is pretty much done. There can be some anomalies. And if that happens, then sometimes you just have to repeat the process until the anomalies are gone. Now, I've only encountered this a few times, and I could not explain what it was. So I close out the old editor, and now I'm going to... I moved out the AT package, and then I save it, make sure that, the AT package wasn't needed, and then I close, and then I'm going to reload the fixed version just to show that, or reload it without the AT weapon package present, just to show that I did in fact get rid of it. And it did not crash, so we're good to go. Now, at this point, you would want to test in game, make sure that the objectives are still functioning, the spawns are still functioning, and everything's fine. I do not do this. And that's it. You probably want to then... oh, I was going to show you the proper Panzerfaust to use now. It's very important to use the correct actors, as if you somehow forgot to and left your AT weapons package in your files and you started adding these demonic actors, it would potentially break your levels, and you'd have to do this process over and over. So always make sure when placing a Panzerfaust that it says placeable Faust pickup. Now, this level's, like I said, wasn't created by me, so it's got some bugs. You can't add actors to these statics. There's sometimes when it does this to me, I make sure that it didn't add it somewhere else in the level, and here you can see that I didn't actually add it, even though I clicked the button. It's not actually adding the actor anywhere. So I'm like, what the hell? But this is just a cause with the level not being on grid or something to that extent. I don't know. I don't usually have this problem on my levels. So I back out and I add it to the terrain, and then it works. And now some terrains, if a level has multiple terrains, it won't work on certain terrains, and we'll add it to the world origin instead. And all kinds of weird crap like that. So I just added one, move it into position, and then I save it. I'm going to show you the properties. Look, it doesn't use AT weapons, it just uses weapons. And then if you want to change the respawn settings, you can change the time there, and then you can also change that it allow it to even respawn to begin with, which by default it does not respawn, which I would advise anyways. And in fact, with the usage of Panzerfaust crates, I would just let players place them anyways. Alright, so here I changed the old one to broken because it didn't work, and I'll later delete it. I just changed it to broken just so I can see it, and then you're good. You're basically ready to test it in game. Make sure everything's fine. All right, that is how to fix a ghost reference.